Hello friends, I am Dr. Rajiv Gupta. I am taking a lecture series on the topic of stereochemistry where I am explaining various types of multiple choice questions related to this topic. It is the part 10 of this lecture series. Now the question is, an alkane which can exhibit optical activity is, the options are, total 5 options are given: neopentane, isopentane, 3-methylpentane, 3-methylhexane एंड 2,3-dimethyl-butane. तो इस क्वेश्चन में हमको वो एल्केन यहाँ पे करेक्ट करना है जो ऑप्टिकल एक्टिविटी दिखाएगा. और ऑप्टिकल एक्टिविटी जनरली वो कंपाउंड्स दिखाते हैं जो कि किरैल नेचर के होते हैं, जो कि किरैल प्रॉपर्टी रखते हैं, यानी कि उन कंपाउंड्स में प्लेन ऑफ सिमेट्री या फिर सेंटर ऑफ सिमेट्री प्रेजेंट नहीं होता. तो यहाँ पर आप देखिए नियोपेंटेन, सबसे पहले हम हर एक का स्ट्रक्चर ड्रॉ कर लेते हैं. तो नियोपेंटेन का स्ट्रक्चर आप देखोगे तो दिस इज द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ नियोपेंटेन वेयर दिस सेंट्रल कार्बन एटम इज अटैच्ड टू 4 मिथाइल ग्रुप्स. ओके, टोटल 5 कार्बन एटम्स हो गए पेंटेन में. तो दिस इज द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ नियोपेंटेन एंड वी नो दैट दिस carbon atom is not chiral, is achiral. Now isopentane structure is this, where 4 carbon atoms are present in a principal carbon chain and 1 as substituent. Now see, here no chiral carbon is present in this molecule. See, suppose this carbon, if we consider this carbon, then here methyl group, here methyl group, both groups are similar. So this could not be chiral carbon, so this could not show optical activity. Okay, so option A we can remove, option B we can remove. Now 3-methylpentane, the structure is 5 carbon, that is pentane, and at third number position we see the methyl group. So see, ethyl group, this ethyl group, so this carbon could not be a chiral carbon, so we can again remove this option. Now 3-methylhexane, first we draw the 6 carbon atoms in a straight chain, and 3-methyl is the third number position, 1 2 3, third number position we add this methyl group. Now see, this carbon is chiral carbon here because all the 4 groups directly attached to this carbon are different. See, this is n-propyl group, it is methyl group, it is ethyl group, and 1 hydrogen is also present on this carbon atom, it is different. So this is a chiral carbon, so this option is correct, where this 3-methylhexane compound is optically active because it is a chiral compound. Now our option E will not be possible because 2,3-dimethyl-butane also contains a plane of symmetry and also it does not contain any chiral center, so it is optically inactive. So our correct option is D. Now next question. In the absence of specific data, it can only be said that R2-bromopentane is, see, R2-bromopentane. So according to our Kahn-Ingold-Prelog rules and chirality rules, we assign the stereo, or we assign the configuration of chiral center in this 2-bromopentane, that is R. And we know that this assignment is completely free or independent from this specific data, specific angle of rotation data, it is independent. So means this practical data, or we can see that the optical activity, that is a practical thing which we obtain from the experiment, and this is different thing. So we cannot correlate these two things. So it could be a dextrorotatory, or it could be laboratory, but it could not be optically inactive because it is a chiral molecule, so it is optically active, and it is not achiral, actually it is chiral molecule. So our option A will be cancelled because it could be dextro or it could be levo, because this is independent from this assignment, RS assignment. So this option we can remove. This compound is optically active, but option is optically inactive, so this is not correct. Now this molecule is a chiral molecule, so this option we can remove. Now the option E is analogous in absolute configuration to R2-chloropentane. Okay, if our bromo group or bromo atom is substituted by this chloro atom, then we get the same configuration R for this molecule. So this is the analogous in absolute configuration, this RS configuration, analogous to this, so it is the correct option. The correct option is means 2-bromopentane and 2-chloropentane could show the same configuration if the bromine atom and chlorine atom in these different molecules are present at the same side in a Fischer projection. Okay, so here we get the answer E. Now next question, if a solution of a compound which contains the concentration of 30 gram per 100 ml has a measured rotation of plus 15 degree in a 2 decimeter tube. This is the length of polarimeter tube in polarimetry instrument. The specific rotation is, so here we have to calculate specific rotation using the values of angle of rotation and length of polarimeter tube and our concentration of the solution. So here all the units are given in their standard condition. So we know that the standard unit of our specific angle of rotation is degree ml per gram per decimeter. So these are the standard units. So directly we can apply the formula of specific rotation. We know that specific rotation equals to angle of rotation divided by concentration into length of polarimeter tube. So here the angle of rotation is 15 degree. Okay, it is 15 degree, which is in positive, and concentration, that is 30 gram per 100 ml. 30 gram per 100 ml means 0.3 gram per ml. This is the concentration, 0.3 gram per ml. So here we can put 0.3 gram per ml into length of polarimeter tube is 2 decimeter. Now when we solve this, what we get? We get plus 25 degree specific angle of rotation. So our correct option is B. Okay, now next question, which compound would show optical activity? So we have to choose that compound which is a chiral compound, which does not contain plane of symmetry. So what we do first of all, we draw the structures of all these compounds. Now the first is cis 1,4-dimethyl cyclohexane. Dimethyl cyclohexane. So first of all we draw the structures of this. First of all I am drawing the dimethyl. We know that cyclohexane has chair conformation, and cis 1,4, we know that cis 1,4 position are axial equatorial positions. Okay, axial and equatorial, that 1 2 3 and 4. 1 4 says that is axial equatorial. So at axial position methyl group is present, and equatorial position this methyl group is present. Now we have to check the plane of symmetry in this compound, and here you can see that this plane of symmetry we consider in this 1,4 disubstituted cyclohexane. So this is a achiral molecule which could not show optical activity, so here this option we can remove, because this is a achiral molecule and is optically inactive, but we have to find out optically active substance. So now second dimethyl cyclohexane, here again the position is 1,4, that is trans. We know that trans 1,4 generally equatorial. Now always remember, when the substituents are present at these at these 1,4 position, then always here a plane of symmetry will exist, so this compound is optically inactive, so we can remove this option also. Now cis 1,4 dimethyl cyclohexane, cis 1,4 dimethyl cycloheptane. Okay, our basic carbon skeleton is changed, that is heptane. We know that heptane structure, that is a 7 carbon. This molecule, first I am drawing the structure of this molecule. Okay, this cycloheptane molecule will contain cis 1,4 dimethyl 1 2 3 4. If we add the two methyl groups at 1,4 position, then this molecule will show a plane of symmetry, and also it will show an optical inactivity. So this option we can remove here. Now trans 1,4 dimethyl cycloheptane, again we see the structure of cis 1,4 dimethyl cycloheptane. Dimethyl cycloheptane, that is cis. So here this is the conformation of this cycloheptane, where we can see this chairboard conformation, and cis means both methyl groups could be axial or equatorial. Suppose I am drawing here axial, that is cis. So here we can draw a plane of symmetry where this half portion of this molecule just mirror image of this half portion. So obviously this is optically inactive. Okay, now we consider this trans 1,4 dimethyl cycloheptane. Again I am drawing this structure. Suppose in trans 1,4 dimethyl, one methyl group will present as axial and other as equatorial, that is trans 1,4 in case of cycloheptane. Now here this plane of symmetry we cannot apply, because these both methyl groups will not make their mirror images. So this compound is a chiral compound and it is optically active. So our option D is correct. Okay. Now next question, of the compounds which correspond to the general name dichlorocyclobutane, how many are optically active isomers? So what we have to do here, we have to find out the possible optically active isomers in case of dichlorocyclobutane. So first of all, I am drawing the structure of this dichlorocyclobutane. This dichlorocyclobutane could be cis or trans. Okay, first I am drawing the geometrical isomers of this. First of all, dichlorocyclobutane, so obviously first isomer, that is cis isomer, where both chlorine atoms are present at the same side, means below the ring or top side of the ring. So here we can see a plane of symmetry in this cis isomer. Now I am drawing the trans isomer of this compound, where Cl atom are present at their trans position or anti position. Now here this plane of symmetry we cannot apply, so this compound is an optically active compound, is a chiral compound, and this chiral compound which contains a mirror image isomer will be its anisomers, so which also don't contain a plane of symmetry, so both will be anisomeric forms. So the total optically active compound should be 2. Okay, the total optically active compound should be 2. Now our correct option should be C, but see, for dichlorocyclobutane, two types of constitutional isomers or regio isomers are possible, that are 1,2 dichlorocyclobutane, sorry, not two types, three types, 1,1 dichlorocyclobutane, 1,2 dichlorocyclobutane, and 1,3 dichlorocyclobutane. We know that 1,1 dichlorocyclobutane, that is DAM dihalide, that is obviously optically inactive because there no chiral center is present and a plane of symmetry exists, so that compound could not be optically active. And here I am showing the case of 1,2 dichlorocyclobutane, where this trans isomer shows optical activity, so it will present at their anisomeric forms, means these two isomers. Now I am considering the third constitutional isomer, that is 1,3 dichlorocyclobutane. Suppose first of all I am drawing its cis structure. In this cis form we can clearly observe a plane of symmetry, where this top portion and bottom portion are becoming mirror images. This top portion are mirror images, again these bottom portion are mirror images. So here a plane of symmetry is present, so it is optically inactive. Now I am drawing its trans isomer below a chlorine atom, now upside chlorine atom and below this is the trans 1,3 dichlorocyclobutane. See, in this structure plane of symmetry is not exist, plane of symmetry not exist, but here a center of symmetry we can clearly observe, where we move, if we move from this center portion of the cyclobutane ring to top side, we see this chlorine atom, at bottom side just opposite to the center chlorine atom, this bottom side hydrogen, this top side hydrogen. So here a plane of symmetry exists. So due to presence of this plane of symmetry, this trans isomer, which is trans 1,3 dichlorobutane, is also optically inactive. So here we don't form optically active forms. We only get optically active forms in case of 1,2 dichlorocyclobutane, where we see it in trans isomer. So only and only two stereoisomers, means optically active isomers, are possible. Two optically active isomers are possible for this dichlorocyclobutane. Now next question, which of the following is true of any S enantiomer? Any type of S enantiomer means an optically active compound which contains a chiral center, and that chiral center has, suppose that chiral center has configuration S or assignment S. So we have to match this S enantiomer with the true option. So first of all, we remind that these RS assignment or RS configuration is independent from the practical data for that same molecule, for that same enantiomer in optical activity. So first of all, we see the first option. It rotates plane polarized light to the right. So I said that this polarization, rotation means rotation of this PPL is independent to this S or R assignment of an enantiomer. So this option we can remove. It is not true. Also it rotates plane rotated light. It is not true. It is a racemic form. No, it is not a racemic form. It is a optically active form, and optically active form could not be racemic form. So we can remove this option. It is the mirror image of the corresponding R enantiomer. Okay, this is the correct option, because we know that what are the enantiomers? Enantiomers are mirror images. Okay, enantiomers are mirror images which are not superimposable on each other. So this S enantiomer, its mirror image will be obviously R enantiomer, because the configuration on that one chiral center will be opposite or will be changed. So this is the correct option. Now the last option is it has the highest priority group on the left side. So this is we cannot it could be left or could be right, because the highest priority group could present at either side. How we get S or R? We draw a arc from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, and we see it is either it is clockwise or anti-clockwise. So depending on that we assign S or R. So only by seeing the highest priority group position we cannot define this S or R. So this option is not correct. Now next question. Enantiomers are, so what are the enantiomers? First of all, we have to know the definition of enantiomers. Again, I am repeating the definition. Enantiomers are that stereoisomers which have same molecular formula, same molecular weight, and same sequence of bonding of atoms, but these are mirror images to each other which are not superimposable. Okay, so obviously the enantiomers, generally these are two compounds where these two compounds or two structures are mirror images of each other, and these two mirror images are not superimposable on each other. So that are called enantiomers. So now in the view of this definition, we select our correct option. The enantiomers are molecules that have a mirror image. Okay, the option B is molecules that have at least one stereogenic center. Non-superimposable molecules, non-superimposable constitutional isomers, non-superimposable molecules that are mirror images of each other. As I said, our definition, this is the best option. Non-superimposable molecules, okay, means two molecules which are non-superimposable on each other, and also these are mirror images to each other. C. In constitutional isomers or diastereomers, that isomers are generally not superimposable, and also these are not mirror images. But in case of enantiomers, these are not superimposable, but these will be always mirror images. So these constitutional isomers or other type of isomers will never be mirror images. Okay. non superimposable molecule also correct option, but here mirror image is also included. Now the molecules that have at least one stereogenic center, but it is not completely true, because more than one stereogenic center could also be possible for to form anisomers. Okay, so the our best option is option E. So thank you for listening this lecture of multiple choice questions, explanations related to stereochemistry. The next part, that is 11th part of this lecture, I am discussing afterwards. Thank you for listening the lecture.